Lynn. Welcome to Cooking with Lynn. Cooking in my kitchen again for the Cumberland Library, and today I'm making shrimp with cauliflower rice and a stir fry. So let's talk about what I'm going to be using, and then as we go along we can be talking about some of the other things that you can throw in, because stir fries are very versatile and you can change it up and do lots of different things with it. But I'm going to talk about what I'm going to do. So cauliflower, obviously. If you've ever heard of cauliflower rice, it's obviously not really rice. It's meant to be a substitute for rice when you're on a low carb diet and you don't want to use rice, or just if you just like the taste of cauliflower. And they're doing all kinds of things with cauliflower now. Cauliflower pizza crust and rice and all kinds of crazy things. It's, you know, if you like it, then you certainly might want to try all kinds of different variations. I'm going to put carrots in mine. I am going to put a red pepper in mine. I'm going to throw some green peas in at the end. I'm going to use some scallions in the stir fry and then on top after for garnish. And I'm going to throw in some spinach. I kind of went in my refrigerator and just said, okay, I got some of this and some of this, and just pull it out. And that's the good thing about a stir fry. You can put as much or as little as you want. I've used kale. I've used broccoli, I've used asparagus, all kinds of things. And I make stir fries with chicken and beef and pork, and you could leave out the meat entirely, just make it vegetable. Throw in some kidney beans or black beans or cannellini beans for some extra protein if you're not using meat, or even if you are. And tofu if you want. I've never done that, but you certainly could do that too. So, get started here. I'm going to rice my cauliflower, and there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is to just cut it up real small, and you know that would probably take a little bit more time, you know, because the food processor does all the work really. But if you don't have one, you can certainly just cut it up yourself, or you can grate it on a box grater. That would be easy as well. Get all these little pieces off. Kind of, you know, there's no really fancy way you have to cut this, because it's all going in the food processor and it's all gonna get riced, if you will. Get all the little leaves out of there. Alright, so hope you can see me. Food processors over here. Okay, just throw it all in. If the head of cauliflower is too big, then sometimes you have to do it in two parts, because the stuff on the top sometimes doesn't make it to the bottom. Oh, it's my food processor anyway. But really, you see how easy it is. So the same thing that's happening is the stuff on the top is not making it to the bottom. So I knew that was going to happen. Let's get it out of here. We'll just do it in 2 batches. Not a problem. Should have taken my own advice. Get there. Throw it in. Alright. Okay. Round 2. You don't want to go too crazy. You don't want mush, right? You don't want it to be a paste, or you know, too small, till it resembles rice, really. And this is pretty much it. Doesn't matter if a couple of the pieces are a little bit bigger. All right, let's get this out of the way. Need that anymore. Like I said, you could always grate it on the box grater. That works just as well. Obviously a little bit more work. Let's clean up the mess. Try to be a neat cook. It doesn't always work. All right, so we have our rice. So I said I was going to throw in pepper, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to save that. That's too pretty to throw away. All right, down and struggle. Get that out of there. Get the ribs out. This one's kind of small, but it'll do. Good enough. I'm still here. Alright. And we're just going to cut that up. Now, stir fries go quickly. It's high heat and it's quick. So if you're going to, you gotta think about your vegetables, whatever you're using. You want the thing that's going to take the longest to get in the pan first, which, you know, is logical. And in this case, it really is the peppers, because the carrots I'm going to kind of shred. So that's going to be a real quick cook. So this whole thing is going to cook really quickly, because nothing in here is time consuming when it comes to cook time. You know, if I was going to do broccoli, I would still cut it pretty small, because like I said, it's supposed to be like a quick thing, quick stir fry, but it's still, that would take longer. I would do that first. And the cauliflower, normally if you were cooking cauliflower, that would probably, of all these vegetables, it would take the longest, but it's so tiny, it really takes no time to cook. So I'm just chopping these kind of small. I'm kind of dicing it. Cut it up any way you want. All right, and then I'm just going to do the green onions, and I'm going to do the white part and a little bit of the green part for the stir fry, and then on top later I will garnish with the dark green part. Just dice that up. Sometimes I put onion. I like that. If you don't, we'll leave it out. Put pearl onions. These are slippery. Okay, come on. Hello. There's always a struggle. There's always one that doesn't want to cooperate. All right, get out of the way. And my carrots take a while to cook, so I'm not going to dice those or anything. It'll take too long for them to cook in a stir fry. I'm going to, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I've already peeled them. I have this wonderful little thing. It's a peeler, but it's also got, on the other side, it's got like a little, like shredding kind of thing. I don't know if you can see what it's doing. Little pieces. So, and that's another thing. If you are in a hurry, you can buy all this stuff prepared in the store. You can get the little bag of shredded carrots. But this is so easy. I love this thing. I use it a lot. I just shredded my finger. So yeah, great. I've also used spiralized zucchini in here, and I love my spiralizer. It's given to me as a gift from someone who knows me, and I use it to make spiralized sweet potatoes and zucchini, and I don't even really like zucchini all that much, but when it's spiralized and sauteed, great in a stir fry. Give that a try. I highly recommend that. I can show you my spiralizer. Just gonna, now see, they're so thin, it's just gonna cook really quickly. I mean, you really barely even have to cook them that much at all. Sometimes just for color too. I mean, we eat with our eyes first. If something looks delicious, you're gonna want to eat it. And if it's colorful, a lot of times I throw red cabbage in here too. And just the colors, it's just very appetizing. I think that's enough. Okay, that's enough. Alrighty. Get that. What else? What else? What else? So the spinach I'm going to throw in, I'm not even going to cut it up. It's just going to wilt down. And I'm just going to mince some garlic. And then we're good to start stir frying. So that's a thing that I needed to tell you is if you're going to stir fry, because it's high heat and because it's quick cook, make sure all of your ingredients are prepped ahead of time. Don't be cutting as you're going, because you want everything ready to go. Put it in the pan as, you know, the thing that takes the longest first, and just keep adding. But don't try to be prepping when it's already in the pan. So just going to do a couple of cloves of garlic, maybe. Drop some on the floor as usual. That's about good, I think. Maybe. Little teeny tiny one. Let's get a bigger one. Use my back. There we go. Okay. Just gonna cut up some garlic, mince it, smash it. Don't like it, leave it out. Oh, I told you I was gonna show you my spiralizer. Get one of these. get one of these if you are doing like low carb. You can spiralize all kinds of things. It's so easy and it cleans up great. Love it. Use it all the time. Spiralizing everything. All right, one more. We'll get going. All right, okay. I'm just gonna, now nobody wants to bite on a big piece of garlic, so we're just gonna cut this up pretty small. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I'm not one to put spicy stuff in my food, but you can certainly make this spicy. Throw sriracha in there, hot sauce, red pepper flakes, whatever your heart desires. That's what's so great about a stir fry is, you know, any kind of protein pretty much, any vegetable pretty much. Watch out for your watery vegetables. So if you are going to throw spiralized noodles in there, what you want to do with the noodles is spiralize them, put them on a paper towel, and let the water kind of get out of them. Salt them a little bit and let the water kind of come out of them, and then kind of squeeze them dry a little bit. They're not going to be dry, but you don't want your stir fry to be real watery. And that's true of however you're going to prepare your zoodles. Okay, I think we're ready to go. I hope we are. So, get my pan going. Hopefully you can see everything. Alright, so this is going to go real quick. That's why you want to have everything prepped, ready to go. So I said I was going to do, did I say? I don't know if I said. I'm going to do Asian flavors in this. So what I'm going to use is soy sauce, teriyaki sauce, and I'm going to use some oyster sauce. Obviously that's maybe not something everybody has in their pantry, but it adds a nice little bit of like kind of salty. It doesn't taste like oysters and it doesn't taste fishy, so don't worry about it. It's kind of like a flavor you can't really describe. And I'm going to use regular just canola oil, and I'm going to run out because I didn't check before. So guess what? I'll use olive oil. Use canola oil. Don't be like me. And you don't want to put a ton, but really coat the bottom. Okay. So why canola oil? Because it's flavorless. Olive oil's fine, but because stir frying is usually done at a high heat, olive oil has a lower smoke point, so it's going to smoke faster, but it's fine. No big deal. So what we're going to put in here first is the peppers. We're really going to kind of just go pretty quickly getting the stuff in, but I'm going to put this in first and get it going. I'm going to salt a little bit, but I'm going to be careful how much I salt because I'm using soy sauce and that's very salty. And what else? So yeah, I'm going to throw a little pepper in, seasoning, some salt, not too much. We're adding a lot, so you know, it looks like a lot of salt, but it's really not all that much. So while that's going a little bit, let's talk about the thing I didn't talk about, and that's the shrimp. I have already cooked shrimp here, which I bought frozen, and I just took the tails off and thawed it out and rinsed it. But normally I use uncooked shrimp. I don't know why. Whatever I buy is what I use. Like I said, sometimes I throw chicken or whatever in there. But so obviously, if you're using cooked shrimp, it's going to go right at the last minute just to heat it up because it's already cooked. If you're using uncooked shrimp, you know, you'll get it in there. It'll go last, but it'll be, you know, obviously it needs a few minutes. It only needs like maybe 4 or 5 minutes tops. And I like to, you know, get it kind of flat in there and then flip it over and make sure it gets cooked all the way through. You don't want raw shrimp, that's for sure. All right, and then I think I'm going to throw the green onions in. Not do a very good job of chopping those. Get distracted with talking. Get that in. And everything's really going to kind of go in pretty quickly, almost all at once. Peas are going to go last. They just need to be warmed through, and spinach wilts down in 2 seconds, so that also will go in near the end. You don't want to be chomping on raw vegetables, but you also don't want to be, eating mushy vegetables either. Nothing you can see. What's going on? And it's high heat, but not, you don't want it too blazing, because you certainly don't want your garlic to burn, because that just ends up tasting bitter. And I don't throw in the seasonings until I have the cauliflower in and it's already started to cook. And I'll show you how much I'm going to throw in. And sometimes I don't do any flavoring really. I just saute a bunch of veggies, and if anybody knows me, I throw cheese all over it at the end, usually the Parmesan cheese. Alright, now I'm going to get the cauliflower in. And resalt, not too much. You can leave the salt out if you feel like the salt and the soy sauce is going to be too much. And maybe put the soy sauce on the table as a condiment for people to, help themselves too if they want. Some people like it too. I'm a salty person. I like things really salty. So, cauliflower rice. Like that, it probably wouldn't fool your family into thinking it's rice, but when you see what I'm going to put in there, it darkens it. The soy sauce and the teriyaki sauce darkens it and makes it look like fried rice. But once this cooks down, I don't know, would they be able to tell? Are you trying to fool your family? Maybe. You can also, brown it kind of a little bit and get some color on it, and that'll also, you can see like it'll start to get some color. And that'll also make it look like fried rice, which I love. Another thing you can do, after it's almost finished, that big giant chunk out of there, if you want to add some protein to it, you can, what you would do is make a spot in the middle, scramble up some eggs and throw that in the middle and scramble some eggs. I'm sure you've probably seen fried rice that has scrambled eggs in it. Do that, add some extra protein. So if this is just veggies and protein, that's a really healthy dish, especially if you're watching your carbs and you're trying to get some extra protein in your diet, which I always am. Alright, keep that going. I'm going to throw my carrots in. That's a lot of carrots. Add some nice color. Now it's easy and quick, but yet, it's delicious, and it's an impressive dish if you wanted to serve this for a company. It's not, not too fancy, but certainly delicious enough. Alright, so now I'm going to put my teriyaki in. Now I'm a eyeballer. I don't usually measure, but let's see if we can gauge how much I'm putting in here. Once around the pan, running out of that too. That's alright. Okay, so that was probably only about a tablespoon. I would put more normally, but again, didn't check before I started cooking. So this is soy sauce, and I'm going to do, this is probably a couple tablespoons, and my oyster sauce. Running out of that too. That going. That's probably maybe two tablespoons, 1 or 2. And let's get that all mixed up. It's going to turn the rice a tan color and make it look even more. I said rice, it's not rice. The cauliflower, and make it look like fried rice. At this point, it's really almost cooked through. So, let's get my peas in there. Don't add them if you don't like them. But come on, the color color. It's beautiful. Just love it. And I like that little pop of sweetness with the peas. You know, peas are obviously a vegetable, but they have a higher sugar content, so if you're doing low carb or keto or whatever, you would probably leave that out. And as if it doesn't have enough vegetables, I'm going to toss some spinach on top. And once that wilts down, we're ready to get our shrimp in there. Another thing that you want to get in here, in one form or another, is some acid. So I'm going to use lemon juice, but a lot of times I'll use rice vinegar. And just get a little splash of that in there. Started trying to cook a little bit more with acid after reading this fabulous book. This is great. And I don't get any money for saying that, but if you want to learn how to use all the elements of good cooking, it's a great book. Really explains how and why we do the things we do. Very sciencey. And it's very informative. And I'm not getting paid to say that. Alright, so let's do a couple of things. Let's get our shrimp in there. It's a lot of shrimp. That's okay because leftovers are fantastic. So I'll get that down in there so it can warm up. And I'm going to get my lemon in there. Watch, it'll probably have 9 million seeds. Yes, it does. Not too much, really. And last but not least, Asian flavors. Add some ginger. I bought this ginger. I had my spice cabinet was quite outdated. The spices were so outdated, it was crazy, and I ended up having to throw a bunch of them away. So I restocked, and I bought all my spices from Penzi online because it was during the pandemic, and we were buying a lot of things online. And I found Penzi spices, again, not getting paid to say it, are so much more potent than what I get in the market. So a little goes a long way. I'm only going to do like a half a teaspoon for now, and it's spicy and it adds a nice warmth, but it can get a little spicy if you're not careful. So that is my stir fry. Right, everything's in there, I think. I don't think I forgot anything. Again, chicken, beef, pork, what is that? Tofu, or nothing. I mean, you can do as much or as little as you want as far as the vegetables go. I'm going to cover it. This pan has a lid, but what do? I throw my pizza pan over it, and I'm going to turn it down a little because I'm just warming through the shrimp at this point. And I'm just going to cut up some of the green onion for garnish. Because it looks pretty. Must garnish. I always try to garnish. I always try to make the plate look pretty for my hubby. And he always says, "What did I do to deserve this?" Because he's very sweet. So, we're cooked. We're cooking through. The shrimp was thawed all the way, so it probably should be done. I'm just going to show you how I plate it. The other thing too is if you really don't like the idea of the cauliflower rice, is you could just make a stir fry like this without that, and just put it over real rice. You know, just put everything on top of the rice, and it's super yummy. You can do it in a bowl or on a plate, whatever you want. Be serving it to guests. Use your best stuff and just plate that up. And how long did that take? No time at all. Other than my blabbing, it took no time at all. Now this is for 2 people, believe it or not. But there will be leftovers, and I will probably bring this for lunch tomorrow. Put a little of that on top. And last but not least, sesame seeds, which I also got at Penzi. That's not sesame seeds, that's ginger. Sprinkle some over. Look at that. Shrimp with cauliflower rice stir fry. It's delicious. It's going to be for dinner, and it's probably going to be for lunch tomorrow. I hope you try it. I hope you come back and see me again. I'm going to be doing some more stuff. I've got zucchini lasagna roll-ups coming first week in May, and something desserty for Memorial Day. People are going to probably be starting to have some picnics, so something good for that. So come back and see me again. And check out the Cumberland Library's Facebook page and the Cumberland Library's YouTube page and see what we got going on. Summer readings coming up, all kinds of things going on. There's some kids cooking things and all kinds of fun things. So check it out and come back and see me again. I'll see you soon. Bye.